Alright, so I watched an anime movie recently called Memories 1995. I would recommend to everyone watching the first one. It's a great space horror. Its second is a bit strange and somewhat silly, and 3 is a depressing anti-war propaganda film. So 1 great, 2 meh, and 3 oof. So the recommendation. In the end, just different stories for different people. What is it about? Memories is a 99 film... God damn it. Memories is a 1995 movie in 3 parts back to back. These parts have no connection between each other, and be it world, time period, or anything else really. So they are pretty much separate. The first one is about scrappers in space. A group of men on a spaceship traveling around the place and salvaging whatever they can. That all seems to be put in jeopardy once they get an SOS from a dangerous area. Second movie is a disaster movie, I guess. A man messes up medicine and becomes a living biohazard, killing people by just being in proximity with them. He doesn't realize it and drives on a bike to Tokyo, and hence everyone in there is in danger. Third, it's difficult to describe, but the closest thing to come to mind, as I have said, is a propaganda movie. Join the Navy, enlist in the army, save the world, defend your motherland. Now this is more of an opposite side of a coin. The entire country seems to be focused on the war effort. Father of a family loads a giant gun, mother works on the bullets, and son studies how to calculate the trajectory. It's all 100% about the firing of a giant cannon and what people's lives are in such a state. And what people's life are when everything is dedicated to that gun. It doesn't try to outright say what the war is bad, and just shows how depressing the life is and what would happen if a country is entirely absorbed by war, even if the people on the screen aren't soldiers and are just civilians. So what did I like? What did I like? I like mind tricks, the kind of things where you can't tell if something is real or not. The first one is focused on that a lot. The people see what isn't there. The person monitoring them sees the same thing. The entire place is opulent and imperial, but also eerie. I am still not sure what the hell the entire thing was about, but this confusion, wonder, and slight unease remind me of a little bit of Junji Ito or Lovecraft. But I'm not too familiar with Lovecraft, so the point is, it's not entirely out to scare you. Although there is that, but it's also trying to make you think and wonder what exactly just happened. A bit of a tangent. Check out Junji Ito. That story about person sleeping, I love how bizarre that one is. And everyone probably knows the spirals by now. Oh, and this is my hole, this hole is made for me. Definitely some similar kind of uncomfortable strangeness. I've also enjoyed the animation. There's one thing which we seemingly lost entirely post-2000s, and that's hard, handcrafted art with no digital touch whatsoever. I wouldn't bet on the fact that there's nothing digital in this one, but done now, this would definitely have a hell of a lot more CGI. I would specifically like to praise the second part of the movie when it comes to animation. Honestly, not a fan of the story in that one. Not a fan of basically anything in that one, except, well, the ending was pretty cool. But the animation there, good God, is it gorgeous. I cannot imagine the amount of time every single frame in it took. It's unbelievable how much detail all those vehicles and objects have. I honest to God would like to see the process of making this from the animation standpoint. So I draw once in a while, nothing good of course, but it inspires me to try harder, to do something better, because this is just stunningly beautiful, and I would like to maybe create something of my own one day. Well, maybe beauty, when talking about tanks and such, isn't the right word, but yeah, whatever, you get the point. It's a sight to behold. So what did I dislike? I disliked the third part of the movie, because it hits too close to home. It feels like at any moment now war might break out, and well, it did. I'm now wondering whenever we are gonna go into the same situation as the movie. Meanwhile, there's a global pandemic, horrible situation, economical situation in multiple countries, rise of fascism, as well as global warming and overwhelming pollution. It's like everything in the world is just going to crap. What other generation survived all that in one lifetime? And hell, some went through this shit before their 20s. The future is looking bleak, and this movie shows what the kind of lives we can expect at best if the war does happen. Barely making ends meet, reprimanded for almost getting killed, blowing out eardrums as a punishment, kids growing up believing it's a good thing firing gigantic artillery at someone, seeing war, conquest and domination as some sort of welcome goal. It it is terrifying because this kind of thing does happen. This kind of propaganda mentality, people get zombified into believing this sort of thing, which is why people become xenophobes. War-hungry, raven, lunatic, crazed monsters who refuse to consider other people as human beings. Seriously though, I saw one gif of an older woman acting like that, and a bunch of people in the Middle East shouting about murdering everyone. Women, children, men, elderly, whatever. Jesus Christ, that was scary. Like it's mental asylum patients in the general populace. The kind of patient who is generally sedated on a cocktail of drugs and tied to a bed. And these kinds of people are in public now. The close-minded mentality breeds this kind of behavior, and this is showing that. And I sure as hell do not want to see it, but it's real, and it's out there. So what I'm trying to say is, not liking something does not mean it is bad, at least not always. Here is definitely the case of being done well. To be fair, well, the animation is kinda in that. In the end of my conclusion is that all three movies are good. First is fascinating. Second is a great spectacle, and the third is a depressing note to rethink life, society, and how horrible the humanity is, without actually showing the atrocities. Or at least, not directly.